The gentle yoga is addressed to anyone and everyone. In our gentle yoga practice, we don't even require you need a yoga mat that you come onto the floor. You can do it sitting on the chair as you are. So there is no problem. But what is it characterized by? It is characterized by going to the principles of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. What has happened is, for whatever reason in the world, the early practitioners of yoga have come from the tradition of Hatha Yoga. The Hatha Yoga, the principal texts are the Gheranda Samhita and the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So these two documents focus a lot on asanas, a lot of cleansing techniques, and that approach is one approach of yoga. But the general and the higher principle of yoga is there in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And so once we understand the higher principle of yoga, we realize that the Hatha Yoga approach is not the only and correct approach to do. Because the Hatha Yoga approach is not accessible to many people. If you have to do very complex postures that many people cannot stand on their head. They cannot even lift up their torso in the shoulder stand, the Sarvangasana, right? And and yoga is not about the body, right? We say in many different ways, we describe what yoga does to you. From a medical perspective, we say yoga allows you to have voluntary control over involuntary functions of your body. Another way in which we say is yoga enables you to increase your resilience of your system. When we say resilience, think of it. Now, when your blood vessels are highly resilient, you have no blood pressure, high blood pressure. But when they become stiff, you develop high blood pressure, hypertension, right? Now, when you're an open, well-connected person in yoga, whatever comes, you're able to take. Whereas if the roof falls on your head, as a yogi, you say, okay, there was some reason the roof fell, we'll fix it. Whereas on the other hand, a common person, if the roof falls on oh my Lord, the roof has fallen. Where are we going to live? What are we going to do? So they are in a complete state of shock, and the resilience is not there in the system to come out, right? So the second way, medical way, whereby we say is yoga builds the resilience of the system. And of course, if we look at it from a more spiritual way, we say yoga builds the understanding of our spiritual existence within us by bringing out that connectivity with our spiritual being. So you can see there are so many different ways we can say it, and all of them represent the quality of yoga that comes within us. And so what it is gentle yoga characterizes all of this, and you don't really need complex asanas to do that. In our gentle yoga, taking it out straight out of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, we have, you're probably aware, in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, for any yoga practice, there are a few things required. First thing required is you need to have regular practice, and you need to have an attitude of a pure observer. You see, even the beginning of the yoga, for those people who understand the sutras, of course, yoga is defined as overcoming the what you would call as the activation of our system within, right? Now, many people, the actual sutra is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. This is the second sutra, right? Now, this basically is saying yoga is the chitta's activation. You want to stabilize it or control it. What is the chitta? Many people in translation will say mind and things like that. It is not the mind, it's more than the mind. It is the system that encompasses the mind also. So it is our whole computing system within us. When we have control over it, when we are able to be in a position where we are not carried away by it, But instead, we know ourselves as different from that. When you are able to control it, that is what is yoga. Now, how do you attain it? It says, Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tat nirodha. It is done with abhyasa, means regular practice. Vairagya means when in your practice, you need to have the attitude of a dispassionate observer. There is no attachment. Dispassionate. So, whenever we do any yoga practice, we just be a pure observer within. So, this element is what is an important element of yoga. Now, where do you work on the practices? The practices, from our understanding of the Yoga Sutra, is expressed in the process of yoga. The process of yoga in the Yoga Sutras is explained in the eightfold yoga, Ashtanga yoga, right? That is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana and samadhi, right? Now, of course, in books and various places, they write various meanings for these things, but I will put it in a very simple way. Yama means being true to your conscience. If you are not true to yourself, you cannot have peace of mind. You cannot be happy. You cannot be doing yoga. You cannot show one face to the world because you have to do a job where you have to lie to people to sell something, and you won't even sleep well at night, right? So you have to be true to your conscience. That is yama. Second one is niyama. Niyama refers to being a person of regular, clean habits. Niyama is regularity. The third element, asana, refers to alignment of the entire physical system so that there is smooth energy flow in the system. The alignment constitutes the most important aspect of alignment is the spine, spinal erectness. Next is flexibility and mobility of all the joints. But there again, there are importance in the major and minor joints. Some of the major joints are the pelvic joint, the neck joint, and then of course you can go down the other joints, the shoulders, the knees, the ankles, the wrists, the fingers, everywhere, all the joints. This is mobility and opening. This is the key element. Optimizing the alignment of the physical alignment is the work of asana, third one. The fourth one is pranayama. Pranayama is optimizing energy. We are the best ever computer or robot made by divine creation. Organic robot that creates itself, right? And this thing. So, in order for us to function, we need our battery functioning well. Without electric supply, nothing works, right? And we are remotely controlled robots where if a switch is turned off somewhere, the body falls dead. Right? So the thing is, you see, the switch can be turned on, but our circuitry and our energy production, the vitality that governs the body must be operational. Otherwise, nothing will work. That regulating of that is pranayama, managing that.